Hello, I'm Jeremy Hobbs, President and founder of the Chattahoochee Valley Better Way Foundation in Columbus, Georgia. Today I issue an address to all those living with HIV and AIDS. For the past several years, we have seen so many of our friends die, so many loved ones pass on, and we're still left wondering, is there ever an end in sight? But the one key element that is missing from our fight is our own selves, our faces. The vital element that we need in our fight is the voices and faces of those living with HIV and AIDS. This is your life and your disease. For years now we have depended upon others to fight our battles for us while we hid in the shadows, afraid to come forth because of the stigmas we face together. But we must overcome this fear and stand forth together, united, and put a face to this disease. AIDS is a disease that has killed over 25 million people and is living inside some 33 million people worldwide today. AIDS can no longer continue to be a faceless disease. AIDS has affected every family in this country in some sort of way, whether they know it or not. Hasn't enough innocent blood been shed? I issue a call to you today, just as Harvey Milk recruited, I am recruiting you, to come forward about your illness. It's time you bring forth the truth about your illness to your families, your friends, your workplace, and let them know that anyone, everyone, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, could be HIV positive. We must put a face to AIDS. No longer can HIV/AIDS patients be a statistic or race or number, but should be treated as individuals and human beings. Ease your burden upon your soul and stand up and tell your story. But in order for those living to come forth, our society must educate themselves with proper and factual information regarding the illness. The moral compass of the nation and the South's specific cultural underpinnings include fundamentalist beliefs such as blaming those who are diagnosed with HIV disease due to sinful behaviors, such as male sex with men, MSMs, and or those who use or abuse drugs. The New Era Baptist Church, located in Birmingham, Alabama, posted the following on their reader board: AIDS is God's curse on a homosexual life. This message remained on the reader board for more than a year. While the congregation did divide over the words on the sign, the pastor continued to espouse his beliefs and judge others, all in the name of God. The fact that the sign stood for over a year and did not bring a larger outcry from other areas of the community also speaks to the acceptability of a conservative environment that is not welcoming to the range of diversity found in the community overall. These ideologies have created an environment that is indifferent at best and hostile at worst to the plight of men, women, and children alike, regardless of how they contracted the disease. Ignorance is AIDS' biggest ally and mankind's worst enemy. Those reckless words on that sign increase the stigma that AIDS is a gay disease. If that pastor would have done some research on AIDS and would have found out the truth about worldwide HIV infections, he would have found that 85% of all sexually transmitted cases were through heterosexual sex. Less than 5 were through homosexual infections. The other 10% were through blood transfusion, mother to child, and injecting drug users. Despite the ignorance that this one pastor portrayed, many faith-based entities have become educated, have started or enhanced AIDS ministries, and have shown support for persons living with HIV and AIDS. Those who are living with HIV disease, whether or not they are aware of their status, continue to be influenced by the stigmas that exist in their cultures. The shame connected with HIV, even if one identifies as heterosexual or bisexual, can still cost primary relationships, employment, housing, and other social disconnects from needed support systems. Shame and fear of the stigmatizing reactions of others may lead to the reluctance to seek testing and treatment for HIV or other STDs. Too many people are still in the dark about how widespread HIV/AIDS is in the U.S. Every hour, approximately 6 new cases of HIV and AIDS are diagnosed in our nation. And what's even sadder is that 300,000 Americans are infected with HIV and AIDS and don't even know it. We can no longer afford to live in the dark. We can no longer live in the shadows. Don't let another hour go by. Even if you're not infected, it doesn't mean you're not affected. Stand up and be heard. Answer my call and stand up and tell your friends, your mother, your father, your minister, your workplace, your families, that HIV is in me. Be not afraid and fear not, for our organization will be there for you every step of the way. The hardest thing I ever had to tell my family was that I had AIDS. But today, I tell everyone I meet that shows a sign of love in their heart and compassion to helping others, and even those who don't. Because I want them to know AIDS is everywhere, in every family, in every sector of this country, in every sector of this world, people you work alongside with every day, or perhaps even a child you raised. And when they answer my call and tell you about their illness, find out the facts and lend your helping hand. And above all, show love. When you portray social ignorance about the disease and refuse to become informed and make your own children informed, then you could quite possibly be signing their death sentence. People need their families during this crisis. We need each other to work together to help bring an end to this epidemic once and for all. 2 years ago, I started my own advocacy here in Columbus towards better policy for those living with HIV and AIDS, and to help improve the education regarding prevention. This has become my life's work. The Chattahoochee Valley Better Way Foundation is a positive-led organization that helps those living with HIV/AIDS by providing support groups, relaxation therapy classes, activities, exercise, and medicinal awareness. I made the choice to take charge of AIDS in my community because I had seen the failures that lie within. The lack of information, the lack of funding, the lack of help, the lack of tolerance, and the abundance of ignorance. One thing more, I noticed the lack of empathy, and mostly the lack of participation of those living with HIV and AIDS. I offer my hand to those who are living with this disease. I will walk alongside with you and help you in every way I can. I will work non-stop to ensure you are treated fairly and are given the best treatment possible. Don't let fear keep you from getting the help you and your disease require. Medicines are only a small part of the equation. Living life with HIV will be one of the most difficult tasks you'll ever have to endure. But know that we will be there for you every step of the way. Don't go it alone. There are so many people living with HIV that need to hear your stories, people that need your support. We can learn from each other based on our personal experiences of living with this disease. All throughout history, progress has been made through collaboration and unification. And today, we all can be part of the solution. We must unite and fight to end this disease once and for all. For together, we are the solution. Thank you, and God bless.